We have on the screen Chief Mike Ozekhome, our brand ambassador for the universal health coverage of the ANPMP project. Today he has given his assent, his consent to lower his shoulders and to support the Association of Nigerian Private Medical Practitioners to stand for us and to lend his voice to speak for universal health coverage as our brand ambassador. And with him, we are going to unravel every legal matter that is suppressing medical practice in this country. Join me in welcoming Chief Mike Ozekhome, SAN.
I just want to thank Dr. Aikodo, who had led a very powerful team to meet me some days ago to participate in today's events. But for my prior engagements, I would have been with you physically in Ibadan because I take medical science very, very important. We as lawyers, we are very proud of our profession. I will always say ours is the best profession in the world. We take heed from the fact that law and order, which started from the Garden of Eden, was anchored on the legal profession. God created this. He saw that it was good. And then the night came. And then the next day, he created this. And he saw that it was good. That was law and order, which is anchored on law, right in the Garden of Eden. But I've also told my colleagues that medicine itself also started from the Garden of Eden, just like law. So they are the two oldest professions. How did medicine start from the Garden of Eden? God had already created Adam. He felt that Adam was lonely. So the Bible tells us, the Holy Bible tells us, that God decided to give him an helper, someone to help him, because he felt Adam was lonely. And what did God do? He did not create Eve from the dust like he had done originally for Adam. He used anesthesia and put Adam to sleep. Adam slept. And he took one rib from the rib cage of Adam to create Eve. So, if God could put Adam to sleep, quietly extract a rib from his rib cage, not from the head, so that the woman will not burst him, not from the foot, so that Adam will not trample upon her, but from the rib cage near the heart, so that they will love each other. One can safely say that medicine, like law, started from the Garden of Eden. I have watched some operations, some surgical operations on television. And I tell my wife and my children, hello, mine, by God's grace, is a family of 7 lawyers. And I thank God that I'm having 2 medical doctors, also in the same family. The reason being that I see medicine as a profession that is nearest to God on earth when I see some surgical operations of a brain taken out of its place, of a heart taken out of its place, and then put back. I mean, although we are proud lawyers, I've told some people, if I die again and there is anything called reincarnation, I will come out either as a lawyer or as a medical doctor. But I thank God that 2 of my daughters are medical doctors today. Now, in terms of your Hippocratic oath, which was developed in the 5th century, in the year about 400 before Christ, BC, by Hippocrates, usually regarded as the father of medicine, a great philosopher, scientist, and medical practitioner, a man who wrote over 70 books on healing at a time when healing was so revered that it was even believed to be divine, not just mundane on this earth. He laid down the oath, which today we call the Hippocratic Oath, that every medical doctor must subscribe to before you become a medical doctor. Even nurses who subscribe to the oath of Lady Nightingale, the greatest nurse ever, still also bring in that Hippocratic oath, which is to treat your patients to the best of your ability, which is to keep the secrets of your patients, and which is also to ensure that the secrets of the medical profession are taught to generations yet unborn, so that it will not be consigned to the vehicle of historical oblivion. Now, this Hippocratic oath is so crucial that doctors are enjoined to have what I would regard as the milk of human kindness. In other words, beyond making money, a medical doctor is a human rights activist. There are many cases I handle, not because the clients have money, but because there's injustice to cure in that case. Because impunity must be challenged. Because vile authorities must be defeated. So it is difficult usually for me, for example, to see a client in detention, maybe in Kirikiri prison or in Ikoyi prison, and he asks for my help. And then because he does not have money, I refuse to run to the aid of such a person. I usually have sleepless nights. So also, by way of a necessary corollary, a medical doctor, without knowing it, is a human rights activist. Your great ancestor, Hippocrates, has said you should use your profession to the best of your ability to heal people. Question: how do you balance these conflicting interests? These interests that are centripetal, are centrifugal, all at once. The interest that you also have a right to survive. You have a wife, you have children to train, you have a family to take care of, you have an extended family to take care of within the African and Nigerian context. How do you balance it with that other conflicting right that you must treat patients whether they have money or not? Are they saying you should also go hungry? Are they saying you should become impecunious and you die in abject penury because you have to treat patients? Where is the balance? What is the job of the government in ensuring that when you tell medical doctors to treat patients, for example, gunshot wound patients, what insurance do you have in place to ensure that the doctors at the end of the day are paid for medical services, knowing how medical equipment are expensive? This issue actually came up in November last year, and your association was represented, the police was represented. I led the NBA Human Rights Committee, of which I am the chairman, to argue out this serious issue. You have the Gunshot Wounds Act of 2017, which criminalizes by some years of imprisonment, up to 5 years, where a medical doctor refuses to treat a patient and the patient dies. And he says, you have contributed to the death of that patient. That it is professional negligence not to have aided that patient to live. Now, how do you get out of this conundrum? What that act actually says is that the doctor can start treatment. The doctor can start treatment, and within 2 hours, when you start the treatment, you can secretly contact the police and say, hello, the person who has come here bleeding with gunshot wounds or wounds that we suspect to be gunshot wounds. We suspect that it may be an armed robber or a person of questionable character. The police can then move in, maybe secretly without being in uniform, so as not to frighten other patients who may have free heart, and monitor the situation to ensure. The police can even infiltrate the system where the operation is being carried out as if it's one of the medical personnel, and monitor to ensure that the patient does not run away. We agreed that day that it appears better to give such a patient lifeline, because life has no duplicate. When the person dies, he's gone and gone forever. He's as dead as dodo. Dead men don't argue, don't pay bills. It's better to give that patient a lifeline, whilst you call the police or the DSS or other security agencies that you have a patient you suspect. Were that one done in the case of one young man, Ebenezer Ayeni, who died about June last year. He was shot right in their home by armed robbers. Because when the patient comes to the hospital bleeding, you may not know whether he was actually an armed robbery suspect or he was himself a victim of armed robbery. This Ebenezer Ayeni was actually a victim of armed robbery in their own home. He was taken to UCH. They refused to touch him on the ground that he must be an armed robbery suspect. And the family rushed him to a private hospital. The private hospital also refused to touch him with a 10-foot pole. Like Pontius Pilate, both national and private hospitals washed their hands of the fate of this young man. And he bled and bled and bled to death. That young man who was to marry the following month, about December last year, he's gone for good. I would prefer a situation where the medical doctor can quickly give some aid, at least little aid, to keep him alive, knowing that life has no duplicate. Keep him alive. Money will always come by the grace of God. And then when you keep him alive and tip off the police for the treatment you had already given, you cannot tell the family, I sustained the young man you brought. Pay us some money. This is our bill. You can also write to the government. You told us, you made this gunshot wound act, and say we medical doctors can recover our money. Pay us. I think it is better, as we go on this journey together, to know that life is precious. The only commandment in the Bible that has no qualification, which man by laws have qualified, is thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not kill. The Bible did not qualify it at all. But man decided to qualify it by saying, thou shalt not kill, but thou may kill in the following circumstances. That either entitles you to full exoneration or to treating such murder as manslaughter, in which case you are not yourself murdered or killed, but maybe jailed for a certain period. That is why man can kill, for example, in self-defense and in defense of property. And please run away from any person that is intoxicated or inebriated, drunkard. The law allows him complete exoneration because a drunkard does not know what he's doing. Please run away from an insane person, a person who is mad. If he kills, and it is shown that he was insane, law exonerates him. Please run away from a person under provocation. That one does not completely exonerate a person, but it reduces the crime from murder to manslaughter. A person who kills under provocation is said to have acted in the heat of the moment when reason has temporarily vacated the seat. That means you were mad on that occasion. I give you an example. I hope it is not vulgar. You come to your house. You meet your wife, your beloved wife, that you had left in your home and went to work quietly. You met a man right there in your matrimonial home, right there on your matrimonial bed. And rather than both of them hastily covering themselves up, or the stranger dashing out through the window or through the door, they sit down there and then they deride you, they mock you. Maybe the wife says, yes, I invited him because you can't do anything. What can you do? You think I married you for the fun of it? And then the man gets worked up under provocation when reason has temporarily vacated the seat. And he picks the next available weapon and maybe kills the wife or kills the man. Yes, you are murdered. But law may look at you that you acted under extreme provocation when reason vacated the seat. But it is different if when you have caught them in that situation, instead of acting spontaneously and simultaneously and contemporaneously, you go out, you go to the nearest bar and you say, give me that gin or give me that beer. Then you take some gin, you smoke some cigarettes or some weed to have what you call Dutch courage. Then you come back some minutes later and kill. That is cold-blooded murder, for which you will yourself be murdered through the laws of the land. Also, life may be taken by man, not by God, under what you call genuine mistake or accident. Accident is that maybe you are loading a gun for over which you are licensed, and as you are loading it, your best friend, even a family member, staying by you, the bullet suddenly explodes, or the gun explodes, and the bullet goes to kill. That is what you call accident, because you did not intend it. In law, there must be two elements for an offense to be committed. There's what you call the mens rea, the intention, and the actus reus, the consummation of that intention. Or you go to the farm in the village, father and son, they have no quarrel. The father says, goes to the left to go and hunt, I go to the right. And as they are hunting, without knowing, they start converging gradually without knowing that they were now coming together. And the son sees the shrub moving and believing that there must be a game, an animal under that shrub. He fires his gun without looking. He goes there to pick up his game, which he thinks is an antelope or a buffalo. and they discover that it's his dear, beloved father with whom they had gone hunting together that he had killed. But that is under mistake because he did not intend it. What the Lord does is to reduce it from murder to manslaughter. Why have I given these examples? I've given these examples to show the sanctity of life. And the fact that we should try as much as possible to save that life under the Hippocratic oath, given as far back as the 5th century BC, in the year 400 before Christ, so that we can save life. Having said that, I'm grateful to you, and I want to thank you immensely from the bottom of my heart to deem me worthy to be your brand ambassador. To whom much is given, much is expected. What you have done today is to dress me with the robes of a medical doctor, to feel your pains, to feel your pangs, to feel your sorrow, to feel your challenges, to feel your objectives, to feel your aspirations, to feel your heart desires. How do you want the medical profession to be turned around, to be better for the society? How do you want to stop the exodus, the mass exodus? Not even the biblical exodus can beat the current mass exodus of medical doctors from Nigeria to other countries because of the poor conditions of service, which will even make medical doctors to go on strike. Certain categories of people that must never go on strike, medical doctors, security agencies like police. When it gets so bad, medical doctors go on strike. Do you know what it means? Do you know how many lives are lost in that process? How do we stop this mass exodus? Why is the government not giving primacy to medicine, to the Ministry of Health? Why do you give more money to some ministries that are irrelevant to our national resurgimento or development and leave out the critical health sector where we have to first preserve lives before we talk about youth and sports, before we talk about food? You have to have life before you even begin to eat, before you begin to drink water under Ministry of Water Resources. You have to be alive to walk on the roads, under Ministry of Works, or you fly under Aviation Ministry. You must be alive. Dead men don't eat, don't trade, don't go to school. I am not saying by any standard, by any means, that these other sectors of the society are not important or critical. But I am saying by parity, the medical profession, the health sector, should be given primacy of place, should be given priority, so that if allocations to other ministries are increasing arithmetically, that of the health sector should increase geometrically, not arithmetically, because it is so critical to our national survival. So as we go on this journey together, I, as your brand ambassador, it means that where you are being cheated in your profession by the government or by people simply because they feel you have, for example, saved a life, because you wanted to save life according to the dictates of God, then the government suddenly defaults or demurs, or the people you have saved decides not to pay. I, Mike Ozekhome, by the grace of God, senior advocate of Nigeria, senior advocate of the masses, I will be there for you to demand that what is due to you be given to you by all people involved. And we shall fight this in my usual way. It will be total. There will be no holds barred, because I know you have done your job. Because I know as a Christian, and this is Lenten period for us Catholics, and 4th degree in the Catholic Church, 9th of September. I know as a Christian that the Bible tells us that even a laborer deserves his wages. You deserve your wages to be paid for your services. But I want to assure you, I want you to know, maybe you have never taken very careful notice of note of this, that your profession is perhaps the most privileged profession on earth. You have fiduciary relationship of utmost good faith between you and your patient. I, as a lawyer, I have fiduciary relationship between me and my client, not to divulge client secrets. The accountant has fiduciary relationship with his customer. The banker has fiduciary relationship with his customer. You are to keep their secrets. You are not to divulge them. Because this is very critical. And that is why I have joked with some of my medical friends when we are talking about privileges of our various professions. He says, I'm so privileged. You make wills for people, for top Nigerians. You make wills and they let you know their secrets. I say, yes, and I keep them. And I keep them locked up in bank vaults. Then I turn around them. I say, you are the most privileged. But at the end of the day, the outcome of it is that you are so privileged that you yourself may never have known how privileged your profession is. That you can make intrusion into somebody's vital organs, his heart, his lungs, his arteries, his veins, his aorta, his bones, his marrow, his blood. You may never have estimated how privileged God has made you to be or to belong to the medical profession. So I want to welcome all of you to that major event. I saw your procession. I saw your performance today, Dr. Ike Udo. I think this is a profession, this is a group. I'm very privileged, very honored. I'm very happy to associate with yesterday, today, tomorrow, and forever. I accept my honor, the honor you have done to me by making me your brand ambassador.
Our brand ambassador. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A standing ovation for him. We appreciate you. We have learned a lot. Thank you, sir. Wow, it's a great show. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.